Hello, I'm Rick Hansen, founder and CEO of the Rick Hansen Foundation. I'm so honored to be here as part of the Walrus Talk series to join so many amazing speakers who have such great insight, perspective of the Canada we want. In celebration of our 150th birthday with a challenge that we've come a long way, but we have so far to go. And of course, my story starts in 1973 as a young 15-year-old filled with possibilities, suffering from a car accident that left me paralyzed. And I had to face the veil that myself and society placed upon me. The veil of pity, the veil of segregation and prejudice, to try to struggle to move forward, to just be part of society, to just be whole, to be accepted. And this was very disheartening. And of course, then came hope in 1982 when so many amazing thought leaders of this country brought our Charter of Rights and Freedoms home, and they envisioned a new Canada, a Canada that was accessible and inclusive for all, and that people with disabilities would be equal in this society and that veil would be lifted. It brought great hope. But of course, words are easy. Documents are flowing like milk and honey, but hard work and long journeys, they take time and effort from every citizen. And here, as we celebrate our progress in 150 years and in the 35 years since that great moment, we have a lot to celebrate. But of course, we have a long way to go. We're like at the base camp of trying to summit Everest, where we have to keep our eye on the goal, which is to make progress. We have to make sure that we work together to be able to recognize that people completely don't really realize how big the issue of disability is in this country. That there's over 4 million Canadians living with a disability today. That there are still fundamental attitudes and challenges that have to be addressed. That it has to become top of mind, and each of us has to own the responsibility to understand that disability affects all of us, and that we have a responsibility, if we want to build the Canada we want, to do our part, to remind ourselves in our awareness that it is there, to check our attitudes, to make sure we don't have stigmas or shame or embarrassments, that we see ourselves, our family members, and the members of our community as whole human beings, to be valued and respected, and to see ability. And then also we need to be challenged to be able to identify the barriers that are there, and to be able to break down those barriers to liberate potential. Not just to deal with the charitable perspective, but to embed the rights and laws of our country. And not just to embed the rights and laws of our country, but to go beyond that, because if we make this country accessible, if we can allow people to participate in the places that they live, work, and play, just think of the human potential and contribution that's waiting to be unleashed, to be able to help lift up this country, to be able to make it stronger and more capable, to be able to reach out in a global society and show that Canada can play a role in contributing to other countries around this world as well. A healthy and inclusive Canada where no one gets left behind. And one of the most important things is that we can recognize that there are many barriers out there. But I believe that the first urgent priority is that we need to make sure that our built environment, the places where we live, work, and play, are completely accessible, because they're not today. Family members are shocked to see when someone has a disabling condition that they can't get access to a store or to a job or even sometimes to an education. And this is something we have to fix urgently. We have to envision the future in the next 35 years to be able to see that we are completely inaccessible, complete and accessible, making sure that people with disabilities are part of that potential, that we see the Canada that we love, the Canada that we want. And of course, when we look at the people who still are here today, the 4 million Canadians will be 9 million Canadians by 2037. A powerful force of aging baby boomers and their parents who have to have disabling conditions because of disease or accident or injury, challenges that they must overcome with optimism. They must see potential and they must be fully included and respected. And when I think of that moment when we're completely accessible in those next 30 years, I envision a young Indigenous woman in a small northern community who happens to have an injury like mine. And instead of feeling pity, she sees hope and possibilities. She has direct access to education. She is a leader in her community, and she runs for politics, and she becomes the prime minister of this country. And she sets the message that this country is living up to its dream. And she is there to celebrate not only the dream of being completely accessible for all, but the dream of being able to recognize how powerful disability is to bring us all together. Because disability knows no boundaries. In a diverse country like Canada, it doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're an Indigenous person, whether you're from a different culture, whether you're male or female. The bottom line, rich or poor, it affects all of us. And if we can find something we can work on together, just think what that does. It makes Canada stronger because we can come together. We can break down barriers. We can build bridges to an inclusive society that's healthy and vibrant, where we live up to our potential. I see that day. I wish Canada happy birthday. I want you to know that I'm with you on this dream. I challenge all of you to join me and to be able to find a barrier and to be able to break it down and to be able to make sure that we know that our birthday is worth celebrating because it's our responsibility to do something for our country, and we're all difference makers. Let's never, ever give up on that dream. Thank you. Thank you.